Hey, everybody, it's Jeff here once again with the Money Trekker podcast, and it is one of our IT updates with Jimmie Brown of the CPA Lifeguard. We're going to talk a little bit about Windows 11 and what's coming up. That will be launched here very soon. It's out in beta right now. So Jimmie's going to give us a little bit of a take on what's new with it, what his take is on it, and what we should do as it comes out and rolls out. So be right back, and we'll see you in just a second. Hey, everybody, welcome. It's the Money Trekker podcast, and this is Jeff, and I've got my friend Jimmie Brown on. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
I am doing well. I just drove 5 hours to go to Houston from Austin, so it's been a long day, but I wanted to get here and hear a little bit about Windows 11.
Great. Well, Microsoft unveiled Windows 11 on June 24th, 6 years after Windows 10. Okay. So we have several updates, new features, simpler design intended to increase productivity, creativity, connect people faster. Supposed to be a better gaming experience, faster ways to get your information. An all new Microsoft store. So that's what we have going on.
So now, is this one, from what my understanding was, they were also trying to do this so that it's a little bit more like mobile friendly as well, or tablet friendly?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's supposed to be more mobile friendly. Also, too, they have some new features where you can pick up where you left off at. I believe that is called snap logo. Yeah, let me see here. It's going to be a snap-in feature that you can pick up where you left off at. It's called snap groups. Sorry, snap groups.
Okay,
and basically you can be able to restore where your previous location orientation was and jump right back in and working.
Okay.
But also too, they built it where it's supposed to be optimized for hybrid working, right? So you can be at home, office, or anywhere, and be able to multitask and pick up where you left off at.
Nice. Okay. So that's great if you're on your network and then it's like, hey, I've got to go and I'm in process or at an airport or something like that. And I can just kind of pick up where I left off. And then once I connect to the network again, transmit all that stuff up then. And
yeah, I believe it's going to be tightly integrated with OneDrive.
Okay.
So as you save that one file, get ready to leave the airport, it's going to be able to just go right up to the cloud, save, and you can pick back off where you left off at.
Well, I've noticed it seems like, I guess with the last few releases, that's where, because for a while there, OneDrive was kind of halfway working, halfway not, at least on our network. And it seems like now it's all working constantly.
Yeah, I definitely see that. I definitely see it just right now is working pretty smooth. Actually, I got a couple clients that I don't know how, but they're seem to be saving. The majority of the documents are saving to the OneDrive. We have not activated that, but I believe they're selecting that as an option, or that option was turned on by an update.
Yeah.
Not sure yet.
Yeah, the only problem I've seen with that whole process is now, because I've got two different Microsoft, I've got a personal Microsoft account and a business Microsoft account. The only problem is it keeps saving. Yeah, it sometimes will hop from one to the other and it keeps saving things on different drives. And I'm like, I can't find the folder. I know I had that file and I look back in history and it's like, where is it? And I have to keep switching back and forth between the two to find it.
Yeah, I've seen that. Simple fixes to select what drive you want and maybe disconnect the personal drive. That's what I've done.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny. I disconnect it and then it comes back. Well, I need to, or you need this for this. And it's like, okay, I don't really need both.
Totally get that.
Yeah. So with Windows 11, it is I'm guessing in beta release right now.
Well, it's due to be released here in a few more weeks. So I would think that it is probably, you can find it if you're part of Windows Insider. and some other, I believe, people that write articles, things like that, or developers already have a copy of it.
Yeah.
So I know they're beefing up the security on it too. There's some additional things they've added for security and also performance.
Okay. So I know my web guy, he was like, as soon as that was released, he had to have the beta and play around with it or whatever. But do you recommend, for people that are interested in it, do you recommend like before this pre-release stuff, or is it better to, let them release it, figure out what the bugs are, and then download it after it's been out for a little bit?
Yeah, I rather wait for official release. I mean, if you're a developer, of course, you want to be able to go ahead and start creating applications or upgrading applications for Windows 11, because there are some people that from day one are just going to jump the gun and go and move to it right away. Far as for my clients, we're going to wait. We're not going to move that. We're not going to move to Windows 11 anytime soon.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's always the challenge, is like Microsoft, with their updates and things like that. It always seems to be like, well, it's about 90% baked. We'll just throw it out there and see what happens. let the audience out there find out where all the problems are. And
yeah, well, I mean, I think any software that comes out is never going to be bug free. So we just have to keep in mind too that if we run a stable environment, that we don't go ahead and introduce a new piece of software, because one, we don't know what applications are going to run on Windows 11. We just don't know. We're still waiting on our software vendors, who may sometimes be 2 or 3 months behind, or maybe a little longer before they decide to release their copy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that could be the issue too, is if you have something out there that you're using that maybe is a couple generations behind, it could have all kinds of havoc that you're causing. Okay, cool. So what do you, based on this kind of move that they're making, it sounds like this one's a lot more interface oriented, not as much the robustness of the back end piece of it. What do you see kind of happening along the lines or the trend with, moving to Windows 11?
I think it's going to be at least a couple of years. You have to remember too that Windows 10 is still supported to 2025.
Okay.
So in that meantime, I would say maybe business clients, unless there are, reasons why we need to move to it. But for me, I'm going to still order Windows 10 for my client systems. I'm just not, it definitely will have to be out for a year before I would move to it. I know there's performance, and I know they said performance and boot times are faster and it's supposed to be more secure. However, I don't think we need that. I mean, I'm just not going to move it unless there's just some feature that is not offered in Windows 10 that just says, hey, we're more secure if you're moving in. And I'm not saying it's not more secure. It probably is more secure. It's just that I don't know what headaches I may run into when I switch to Windows 11.
Yeah, I have something more secure that doesn't work. So that's not good. What do you see as kind of the next step after this for them?
I think everything, if you can get your whole desktop, no matter if you're a home user or whatever, you can run it relatively in the cloud. Why not? I think that is pretty much going in that direction. But I guess from a business point of view, I think that's pretty much where it is. I know there's different Windows desktop as a service and things like that are out there that, we have our, for our business users, we have our VMware, we have our Citrix, right, as our remote desktops, and we can that run on Amazon platforms or Microsoft Azure platforms. But I do see us just moving more to those more virtual desktops, and also saving cost on hardware, which has been out there for years. But I know some small and medium sizes have not done that yet.
So that would be a situation where, it's all on a cloud server, and maybe you've just got an inexpensive laptop or an inexpensive desktop that you're running, everything off of, or?
Yeah, pretty much that's what we do right now. In an inexpensive desktop, that everything, all authentication happens from the laptop to the cloud, being as secure as we can get it, right? With as technology grows. Yeah. So why not be able to do that? Or, or either run a tablet to be able to do what you need to do.
Mm-hmm. Now, at this point, I mean, are all your folks running off of Windows 10, or is there still some lag behinds that I know there was some people that just were obsessed with Windows 7 that wouldn't ever leave, or Windows NT and all that stuff?
No, all my clients are on Windows 10. We won't even
Okay.
support Windows 7 whatsoever. We may have one Windows 8 that is floating around, but
Mm-hmm.
and but that's still compliant. So that's just something we just won't do. It's not even worth a headache.
Yeah, well, I mean, you just get to the point where it's like, okay, just accept that there is going to be change in the world.
Mm-hmm.
We'll make changes. It'll be okay. It still looks like Windows. So
Yeah.
now, from the standpoint of, I think we were just talking about it before we got on the air. I know you've got Microsoft Teams, you've got Zoom, you've got, the Citrix stuff. What are your clients? What do you see most of them using? Are they converting over to Microsoft Teams, or how are they using that piece of it?
Well, right now, obviously, right, as we're coming out of COVID, I think we're coming out of COVID.
This round of it, at least, who knows?
Right. I think right now everyone is using Zoom.
Okay.
Teams now is starting to become more, I say, popular, because I don't say more popular, more useful since the upgrades. And obviously, with Windows 11, it's baked in already. It's integrated into Windows 11 tightly. So we use both. I mean, right now, if they're doing a conference call, we have them use we have them use Zoom.
Okay.
But if they get an invite from someone that uses Teams, then we do support Teams, obviously.
Okay.
It's a Microsoft product.
Yeah. So with now Teams, just for those who don't really understand or know it, is it basically relatively similar to like Google Hangouts or Google Meet or whatever it is now?
Yeah, it's similar to it. It's been upgraded. I mean, it's actually replacing Skype.
Okay.
So Skype, I believe I got an email that Skype, is it this year? I think it was July 31st. This last month, I believe it might be still around, but I believe Microsoft has put the axe on that.
Okay.
So it's their product, but obviously I'm pretty sure some of the team was built from Skype.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's what we're using.
Okay. Nice. Well, what else have you seen kind of in the software world or operating system world or anything like that people need to be aware of, or things that are coming down the pike that you feel like are important that people know?
Security, right? I mean, that's the big talk, right? So I think right now, everyone as an IT industry, we're just working on making things more secure and coming up with things that you got to be really creative now, right? Because of the hacking and everything, the ransomware and those types of things. So I think right now we're just, trying to stay secure, but also to come up with new ways to be secure.
Yeah.
That's the constant articles that come into my inbox.
Do you intend, like, I know a lot of your groups were working on Azure or whatever, on a VPN type thing. Are they continuing to do that when they come back into the office, or are they back just working directly on their desktop?
They're back in their office working on their desktops.
Okay.
Although some did not want to come back.
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother subject, but
that's a whole nother subject. But no, I mean, accounting firms, they're back in office unless there's some medical reason why. But for the most part, majority of everyone's back.
Yeah. Yeah, I know with our firm, we converted over to the Azure Workspace, and we actually, even if we're in the office, we work off of the Azure Workspace in our case, which is good and bad because it can be a little slow at times too. But being in the financial world, we get worried that somebody could hack into us, and we try and make sure we do that.
Yeah, I mean, as secure as you can be. VPN. I mean, they're even saying that there's a way around two-factor authentication. So, I mean, there's other things we have to do to become more secure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what else is going on in your world now? Anything new?
For the most part, it's kind of, it's accounting. So right now, everyone's taking a vacation.
Okay.
Things will ramp back up here for us in September for the new, the extended tax deadlines. And then from there, we'll take a look and see where technology is at that point. But right now, we're just coasting along, enjoying this time.
What now, how has it been as far as equipment? I know for a while there you were struggling with trying to get monitors and stuff like that. Is that still supply chain still constrained, or is it loosening up?
I got a few things that are we have still a few items that are still on back order. We can still get equipment, but it's moving slow.
Okay. Yeah, I know you gave me some advice on ordering a desktop, and it was like usually Dell is like boom, it's there within a couple of days. It was about a week and a half, which
really?
For Dell it was like, okay, that's a little slow for you guys, but
that's unusual for that one.
Yeah, it took a little while, but it's great. It was easy to set up and everything else. So
that's good. Glad I can help.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate this. This was fantastic, good information. I think this is just important stuff that as these things come out, because I know people hear, oh, I've got Windows 11, I've got to get on there, and it's like, yeah, you may want to let it cook a little bit and make sure that all your software vendors are catching up to you. Is what I took out of this to make sure that you're okay going forward.
Right. I mean, and then also too, we have to look at too. We're familiar with Windows 10. We're looking at a whole new operating system.
Okay.
That we just don't know what's in it and what bugs that Don't be surprised. Obviously, things are not going to work functionally the same. Things may be located in different places, and obviously, if you're at a point where you can do it and you don't mind upgrading, fine. If you're a place where what, I can't compromise my productivity, then I wouldn't do it. Majority of most people will qualify for it to be free and free download, but don't click on install.
Now, is there any, with new software from Microsoft, it always seems like it takes up more space and requires more juice out of your computer. Is it pretty well compatible with the variety of equipment that's out there, or are people going to have another equipment upgrade to use the software?
Well, Microsoft is stating that no, you should be able to use your current hardware.
Okay.
For me, I don't know really, right? Because depending on what vendor you have in, whether it's Dell, whether it's HP, whether it's Acer, whatever manufacturer you do want to make sure that device is supported by Windows 11.
Yeah.
And if it's not, don't do it. Or if they say
stop
ahead,
then.
They could be that some drivers or software things behind the scenes were not available to that computer at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And you don't want to be stuck in the water without a device. Like if you we have some devices here, we're just going to use this test computers just to see.
That was going to be my next question. If you got an extra laptop laying around or something and you want to test it out, use the one that you don't need to use for your daily work.
Exactly, because you just don't know. And I've seen a lot of people upgrade, and then you get phone calls saying this doesn't work, and you might get a software vendor isn't supporting it yet, or the hardware vendor doesn't have the certain drivers ready yet. Sometimes they're waiting. I mean, believe me, they are looking at it. They have probably downloaded. They probably have tested it. They'll probably have a couple brand new systems that are going to run with Windows 11. Then they'll work their way backwards. Sometimes, So
I like your thought process of, give it a year, let it kind of cook a little bit, make sure all your vendors are caught up, and then you can upgrade at that time. And
right. And then, like I said, too, it's still supported in 2025. So really, there's no rush.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, good, man. I appreciate this. It was great information. Look forward to our chats as we have these coming up. And I think we were having a little discussion. Our next one probably is going to be on hybrid workspace.
Yeah, I'm looking at the hybrid workings of Windows 11. So I'll do some research on that, because I think the business world will want to know something about that, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to dig deeper into that.
Yeah, planning ahead a little bit for the future of why you would want to make that switch at some time.
Right, exactly.
Okay, well, cool. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad you were on today. And folks, like I said, we bring experts on multiple times during the week so that we can share with you these things and give you good information. Certainly, Jimmie's information is down below. So if you've got any questions for him directly, feel free, you can reach out to him directly or just put notes in the comment section, and we'll catch up to you on another show when Jimmie's on to answer some of those questions that people have. Of course, we're always on all the different podcast channels. We're on all the major ones that will allow us to use video like we do here. So Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Podbean. And then in addition to that, we're also on YouTube and Rumble and Vimeo. So wherever you're seeing us today, make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you get all the updates. And we will see you back here for the next show.